All right, let's move to another team to the other side of the ball. Let's get to some defense right now. Christian Wilkins signed a monster deal with the Las Vegas Raiders, 4 years, $110 million. The Dolphins lose their star defensive tackle, but my goodness, Tyler, the Raiders defensive line is now stacked. What do you think of this move?
Well, that's it, right? I mean, just thinking about Wilkins and Max Crosby along that defensive line, I'm so excited to see that unfold because it's going to result in a career year for one of these guys, right? Like it feels like if Christian Wilkins is going to garner a ton of attention, that's going to free up Max Crosby to rack up the stats. If Max Crosby is garnering most of that attention, well, then Wilkins is going to eat. It's just going to be a phenomenal defensive line to watch. And if you are Justin Herbert, if you're Patrick Mahomes, if you're any one of these quarterbacks in that division or on this schedule for the Raiders, it's going to make life extremely difficult. Now, obviously, it's tough to say, oh, Las Vegas is nipping at the heels of Kansas City, or can they dethrone the Chiefs or anything like that? That's a silly argument to make, obviously, with a defensive signing. But this is one way to at least put a dent in the Chiefs, put a dent in the Chargers, where you have this huge discrepancy in quarterback play from what you have at the moment into what they have, two of the elite quarterbacks in the NFL. So if you can at least somewhat put a dent in that, I think it's a great thing. And it doesn't surprise me that with a head coach Antonio Pierce, that they went and sent a big bag on the defensive side of the ball. They're trying to create that identity that we saw at the tail end of last year. And I think that Wilkins fits that in spades.
Yeah, and you have to be able to get after the quarterback, as you said, in the AFC West. We saw Wilkins finish with 9 sacks in 2023, which is a solid number for a defensive tackle. Max Crosby with 14 and a half sacks last season. And one thing is that these guys play through anything. This is a good stat here from Nate Tice. There were only 7 defensive linemen in the entire NFL that played at least 850 snaps in 2023. Max Crosby, Christian Wilkins were 2 of those 7. They have both played in all 17 games over the past 3 seasons. And that's what you want. When you have guys who are out there for every single snap, that's tough on the offensive line to have to put up with somebody who bullies you like Max Crosby and somebody like Christian Wilkins who just knock you over. So, yeah, this Raiders defensive front is pretty scary right now. So I really like that move. We'll see. I don't know how I feel about $27.5 million. You think they overpaid, or you think this is just the market doing its job?
I was just going to say, it's the market, right? It's just the kind of the going rate for these types of players. And when you can get an elite defensive tackle, I mean, we've seen, what the likes of like Chris Jones can do, or in Aaron Jones. And obviously he's not at that level, but he's not super far off. And when you can have those impact players to couple with a guy like Max Crosby, you're just going to be a nightmare and a pain in the neck for any one of these quarterbacks and these offensive lines on a week-to-week basis.